Hello, so today we are doing a Summon Nixie run, Summon Skadi, sorry, not Nixie. This is a thing that I've done in the past, but this is a little bit different, mix it up. This is like my sort of min-maxed version where it's a little bit better, and we lean into some other elements to push it further. Now, you can see we have level up weight here, that is coming from the ring that we have on. It's a pretty nice ring. And then we also have a bunch of summon damage, a little bit of summon duration that's coming from the belt here and the ring mostly, and a little bit off the helmet. But summon move speed going for the boots, and then we have a bunch of summon attack speed to go with the summon damage from our gloves, our sword, our ring, and our neck. And then everything else is basically utility stuff. So we got duration on the belt with some life, and we got some dice over here. We've got a banished dice on this relic, and then the helmet's got a little bit of life and kills, dice, and some damage and duration, etc, etc. A little bit of experience per second. But the most important parts are basically the damage, the movement speed, and the attack speed. Summon attack speed, sorry. And then when we come over to the talents, it's the general consensus of what you would usually take when you're doing a summon build on Skadi. You got your wolf, you got your movement speed, you got your dice, you got some pull area, you got a little bit of life regen, extra damage coming from these 2 points. But the thing that is mostly different here is instead of taking a second wolf with Tor, we are taking Wanderer. And the reason we take Wanderer is because when you can control your offers by banishing out the bad stuff, using your alterations and re-rolling, and just avoid taking a bunch of blessings that you don't really want, you can then basically guarantee Wanderer is going to hit something big. Which what I mean by that is we could use this to power level our main summon that we're going to be taking, or we could use it to power level some of the passives such as Influence from Mort and get even more summon damage faster. And that's the main power level of Wanderer, which is much more value than taking, say, Tor. As the faster you get online, the faster you get your build underway, the better off you generally are. So, we're going to do Act 1, Pack of Greed. We're going to enter a run, and I'm going to try and show this off. You can see the wolf goes absolutely crazy. This is because the wolf does gain the 400% increased value from the summon stats. So it's summon attack time. Since we have so much summon attack speed on our gear, the wolf goes kind of crazy. And then because we have so much summon damage, the wolf goes kind of crazy. And then because we have movement speed on our boots, it's gaining 400% increased value from that. So the wolf be kind of crazy. Unfortunately, in talents, it does not reflect changes, so you don't see in the talent what its actual stat lines are. Hopefully this is something they remedy in the future, but for now we have to make do with what we got. We're going to alter and hopefully land on Mort first. Oh, this is awkward. Okay, we got Mort. We're going to banish out sudden death. We're going to roll. We will take Ravens just so we have a summon online, so we can hopefully land on our summoner from time. And that's the main thing. So basically we want those 2 gods. We want time and Mord, and then the third god doesn't really matter. But you can see here, we now have 1 summon. The benefits of this is going to be the fact now we level up. We can put another point in our summon. And now in 2 levels our summon is level 3. This is the power of Wanderer. When you can utilize it to quickly power level your blessings, it is very, very nice. So we want to avoid taking stuff like attacks. The unfortunate part is, say if we take our attack, and then we banish the attack, Wanderer can still hit something even if you have banished it. So we just have to avoid taking our attack for as long as possible, or banish all 3 of the attacks. We do not want the gong. We really need to land on time. Cool. Right, we're going to hope for summoner. So we're going to banish out this. We'll take the expert summoner. Now, since summoner can't be leveled, it's just a 1 pointer. It will never get hit by Wanderer. So all the Wanderers still go into our Ravens here. Ravens isn't the summon that we wanted to take first. We actually wanted Necromancy. But Ravens are bad. They do gain a little bit of benefit here. So if I take off these gloves, you can see their attack time is impacted by the summon attack speed stat, which is pretty nice. But but since Necromancy, you can get quite a big army, you will get a lot more value out of Necromancy. But it does also give us access to Mayhem. We could take urgency here, but we don't really need it, so we're going to roll and hope for, there we go, this is what we'd like to see. We're going to banish out these, and we will now take Piety, because it's a 1 pointer. Divine Shield is fine, but I want to try and prioritize things that are impacting our summon damage as much as we can. before we take anything else that can be leveled. So I want to try and get Necromancy, and I want to try and get Necromancy, and I want to try and get Influence before I take Divine Shield and before I take Vortex. Although Vortex is less important in Act 1. We could... Yeah. We won't take Vortex. We'll take Justice's Dash. Vortex is more important in Act 2. Because in Act 2, you have stuff like Carpet Bombers. That's hard for your summons to catch. Whereas in Act 1, the only things really that you want your summons to be catching are already like standing out of range. Sorry, my words are escaping me. The only real lethal things in Act 1 are the bosses and the elemental archers. So generally, we don't need to crowd control them too much. We will banish out this stuff though. Do this. We'll take Vortex now instead of Justice Dash. I know what I just said, but it feels bad not taking something for a level. So if I just banish absolutely everything on offer, we don't get a blessing at all, which just feels bad when we could just take the 1 point of Vortex. And I might just banish it when I next see it, just so it don't level it manually. But now, if Vortex get hit, we're kind of sad. But Ravens are level 4. Very nice. Curiosity would be good here. Yep. Cool, we'll take that. Do like our dice. Now, it is less likely that we find dice shrines in Act 1. There is only one dice shrine in Act 1, and that is the Fate shrine, but it does give a lot of dice when you take it. It's just less common. Meanwhile, in Act 2, obviously you have the wells that let you get like 1 banished dice, for example. So Act 2 does have that quality of life over it. Cool. I'm honestly surprised with how well Ravens are doing right now, but I kind of want to get Necromancy real soon, ready for the... Okay, we'll take Influence. Really want Necromancy before 4 minutes, personally, just so we have a big mob to help us with the slimes. Otherwise, we're kind of just relying on the wolf to try and AoE clear as much as it can. Because that is something that changed in the procedural patch, is the wolves do have area attacks now. They are not just single target things anymore, they actually do AoE damage, as you can see there with the 120 squares. It is quite significant, they do cleave things down quite effectively. So it is nice to have more summons other than just dragons that have area damage. Alright, so his Influence. We're gonna roll, Banish Fear, roll again, banish Soul Stealers, roll again, roll again. Please just drop on Necromancy. Don't do this to me. Oh, that is painful for the soul. We'll take a Master Execution though, since we do have pros. Raven's Pestilence, sorry. We will be getting our added bonus chance of gems dropping. So you can see we haven't touched Vortex, and it's already level 3. This is the downside to taking a... okay, cool, that's Necromancy. This is the downside to taking the dash early. But the reason I like Necromancy is it has incredible movement speed scaling. So as you level up the Blessing, it's gaining even more movement speed. It has incredible damage. It's affected by summon attack speed. It's just an all-round very, very, very good summon. We will take Divine Shield now then, I guess. Unfortunately, we managed to get all the things we wanted, but a little bit too soon. If God Offers were nicer, we could have had our Necromancy at level 10 by now, for example. But now that we have everything, it's just a matter of just hoping that every level now... Oh, I shouldn't take it. But I don't want these. It is a 1 point and done. We'll take it. It feels disingenuous. I don't like legendaries when I'm trying to showcase a build. But it won't give us much value anyway, I guess. Because this. Cool. Mayhem is nice. It's actually kind of crazy how many masters we're getting, because we only have this. And that's just coming from the helmet. Unfortunate. It's fine. But as you can see now, we have quite the necromancy army. If instead of getting ravens, we got offered necromancy early, we managed to get a few levels in it, it would have been much easier to play this out, because they would just be attacking faster and moving faster to target. But we are on our way now to getting our scaling going. Dodge all this. Unfortunately, when it comes to elemental archers, you're kind of at the mercy of your summons and hope that the targeting just gets rid of them as fast as they can. Cool. With the poison archers, it's kind of easier to walk towards them than away from. And what I mean by that is they shoot their shots, walk between the shots, and then towards the archer. And then the shots are so slow that they won't actually get to turn around and hit you in time. But when they're all around like this, it's kind of hard to do so. You kind of end up just having to dodge whatever you can. Use your dashes. Cool. Just backstep everything. Try and save our dashes for emergency cases. Vortex will come in handy anyway, because we can just use it to, like, stop these assassins hitting us, for example. Deathlessness is a good one to take. We should take it, really. As you can see, our influence is now level 4. We haven't had a proc of this yet. Summoner is at 48%. Vortex is level 3. Divine Shield, unfortunately, is level 2. We'll take Vortex for now, though. We'll take Deathlessness later. We just want to make sure Wanderer is hitting our summons when it can, so we don't want to bloat their opportunities too much just yet. And since the density is so high, we don't need that much duration really, but we will take duration later as they start to get more leveled, so that way we can just maintain them for longer. Cool, we're just going to keep walking. We should really be looking for shrines. Just help Vortex get capped out, just so it stops getting wandered. Alright, we got Necromancer up, and it's dead. Now, if you don't have if you don't have many banished dice available to you, like in gear, then you can just not take Wanderer and take the second wolf instead. It is completely fine. Both versions are amazing. Both versions work. Having double wolf is easier to play. It just scales a little slower. It is a little bit safer on the density waves early as well, because you have 2 wolves doing AoE damage. But Wanderer is much better when you're trying to build around, say, Necromancy. Just keep moving. Cool, we'll take Influence, finish that off. Mind Shield's level 2, level 5, level 2, level 5. Alright, let's see. Are we going to get pull area? It gave us nothing? That can happen? I wonder if the pull area has been, like, if it's just bugged. Pull area has been removed. Because I did one of these on Lorette earlier, and it just removed armor. Like, we just got armor reduction, which is the bad outcome. But there's meant to be a positive outcome, and it's meant to flick between the two of, you either get pull area or it removes armor. Or you get, like, the option where it's, it gives you both at the same time. Usually you don't just get nothing. Cool. Keep avoiding the arrows. Take the necromancy level. I prefer necromancy priority over ravens. Necromancy will do most work for us, so we do want to make sure we hit that every time it's on offer. Avoid these arrows. For the white arrows, you kind of just need to dash like horizontally with them. Since they travel so fast, you need to try and to like avoid as many as you can. Or if you can, just stand in the gaps if you're at far enough range. Cool. Take the summon damage from this. We are at 1,175% summon damage already. Now, if you remember, we only had 300% when we started the run. So Summoner and Influence and that little bit from that Shrine have multiplied so much that we've already got over 1,000. Take Divine Shield, speed up the Wanderer scaling, which, that's level 5, that's level 3, level 5, 4, level 5. It should only really be able to hit summon soon. So our build is going to be virtually complete by the time we get to Gargoyles, which is honestly great. Cool, managed to avoid those. I mean, we'll just leave that. That's not worth taking burn damage over. And this is what I was saying, the biggest threat is the Elemental Archers. Vortex and stuff doesn't really help with that, so you don't need the utility as much in Act 1. It is helpful on like the on the slime waves. And like if these guys get close. Wow. 18% luck. That's more pickup drops, so I'll take some more hearts, sure. My shield's done. You want to take cooldown whenever it's offered on shrines. 1, it helps Divine Shield, but 2, for summoner scaling. But this is generally why I think Act 2 is harder than Act 1. Yes, Dracula is a more threatening boss, but every other enemy in Act 2 is a lot more threatening than every enemy in Act 1. So it's like, all you're really struggling with in Act 1 is Dracula, whereas Act 2 you have multiple things to consider as threats. Elemental Archers are a staple in both though, so you can't really consider that when it comes to Act 1. Seeking Orb, more pickup drops. Raven's level 6. Still need to try and find more Banished Dice if we can. Hopefully we'll find a Fate statue. The armor, of course. Our attack doesn't do anything here. Magnetism is pull area? Yeah, but it's also got status duration. It's not that great. I was hoping for it to have a lot more pull area. Okay, so Piss Slimes. Piss Slimes are awkward because they can proc Divine Shield without actually damaging you from these trails, so they can cause you to take more damage just because it gets rid of Divine Shield without meaning to. This is where Vortex is kind of useful, is whenever it's a slime wave. Dodge that. It's interesting that slimes basically just have Crom's attack. Crod's attack. Like his old Act 1 attack where it used to just swing around him. See, there, it procs Divine Shield just because we went into the slow. Which it's not supposed to do that. Ren did, like when I asked Ren that in the past, he did say it's not supposed to. So I'm wondering if we ever see a fix for it, or if they'll actually make it do damage. See the damage shrine, we might as well just save it for the boss. It is up in a minute. So it's like we can just soak up some experience. This is where Deathlessness comes in handy. We don't have it yet, but this is where it would come in handy, is like on these waves where there's not much density. It will help keep the skeletons up, ready for when the boss is about to spawn. Avoid that. Cool. Vortex does kind of help actually with our wolf. If we keep it, like, it helps keep things stacked so our wolf can cleave it down easier. Alright, head back up this way. Go towards the shrine. Dodge all these attacks just by walking. Take the shrine. The boss will spawn in a second, and it should die relatively fast. Vortex again. Try to get the bosses to stack on each other so they get cleaved. There we go. It's the other benefit of Vortex against gargoyles, so you can get them to get stuck inside gargoyles. These guys are pretty good. I wouldn't take them over what I've currently got though, but they are pretty good. That's pretty nice. Put that over there. That's also pretty nice. We'll put that over there. That could be useful in something. That, not so much. Not on this one. That's very good. Yeah, that's very good. Banish and rerolls. We like that. Cool. That's actually chest piece I'm going to keep. I can replace the one that I have for Skadi where it has a revive instead of the rerolls. Cool. And now we can go back shrine hunting. Utilizing Vortex just to keep enemies off of us. Take the cooldown reduction from this, because that helps Divine Shield more than anything. It's already given us 112. So we are at 1.3. I wish we could see how much experience Inner Peace has given us. Just so I can know how sad I would be. Gonna take this. Don't really need it, so I'm just going to take it so we can be more aggressive with our movement. Vortex is almost done, and then we'll take Deathlessness next time it's offered. Ooh, this is pretty huge. We'll take more experience. Avoid that. Okay, now we're at the situation where we're kind of sad. We're going to take Reprisal, though. Because Reprisal is going to be pretty good against bosses for when, like, the cursed effect wears off from the Ravens. It'll then stun the enemy. Oh, sorry, when enemies... That's Purification, not Reprisal, sorry. Reprisal will be good for when we're against Elemental Archers and they start spamming their shots. There's a chance they just get stunned and don't actually shoot in the first place. That's more what I meant. But we want Purification too for the other reason I just said. We'll take more heals. Offset the affix a little bit. Now I've shown this talent setup. I've done a little breakdown of the build in the Discord already. I did it a while ago. I just never actually gave footage for it, so this is the footage. This is why I vote it as probably one of the most consistent Skadi builds, is because all you really need is stats. I am not taking this. It's out of principle. Obviously, in that scenario, just take the gem high. I'm just not doing it. It's, what's it called? It's consistent just because all you really need are boots with movement speed, a little bit of summon damage, and then just summon attack speed wherever you can get it. And then the build's done. You don't need to worry about hitting certain blessings at certain rarities. Obviously, if you can get stuff at Masters, it's great. If not, it's whatever. All you really need is Banish Dice, those stats, and then a little bit of survivability, which makes it very, very consistent. Because then you just grab Necromancer, you grab Summoner, and you're on your way. Whereas a lot of other builds, it usually requires you to get like certain key things, like attack builds need a lot of attack damage, as well as like if you're on a melee. enough stats to make sure you live, etc. Like, think about it. I'm using boots right now that only have 22 movement speed for Skadi herself, so our survivability is a lot worse. Because generally, boots would have 54 movement speed on them. So yeah, the only real threat this build has is, again, these elemental archers, which aren't that big of a threat when you have a big enough army to go and take care of them, and if you have reprisal. But the damage is incredible. The wolf does so much AoE that it clears mobs out fast, and then because it's clearing mobs out fast, you get your necromancy army up and going. It's just a very synergetic build. And you could do this on almost any character. Just bear in mind you don't have the wolf. But what you can do instead is throw on parrots or a dragon, like the Onyx Dragon pieces, and use those to clear AoE. It's just not as effective. But Skadi makes it much better because of Wanderer. Maris, obviously, dash cast Maris with Necromancy goes crazy. Because you can just spam dash casts on... Why are we getting so many legend offers? Like, this is disgusting. We only have 12.5% masters. It should be like a 2% legend appearance rate. But all of these elemental archers are definitely about to kill us. Like this is the only issue, is when you have a lot of elemental archers spawning in, which is completely RNG because it's procedurally generated. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Watch this. But having the one life on kill roll on the head definitely helps. I do have another sword that's similar roll. It just has less summon damage, but it does have life on kill as well. But I prefer this one because it's got some dice on it. Cool. Stutter step so we can avoid the arrows. Something else you can do if you don't want to take Divine Shield. It's a little riskier, but instead of Divine Shield, you can take Sudden Death from Mort, and then you have another way of dealing with AoE. But you're praying then that Sudden Death hits like the archers or something, and it doesn't help you against bosses. Whereas Divine Shield will give you that extra layer of safety. I see the experience gem on the map. I'm trying to work towards it. Vacuum up all this experience. This is the downside to removing a little bit of our pull area earlier. Cool. And then we go over here. It is the 19-minute wave. That's why it's so lethal right now. Alright, and now the only thing we have left is our attack. This is level 10. This is only level 8, which is sad. Cool. So many archers. I miss Chatty Skeleton. Alright, we got Dracula. Try to avoid. He'll do the homing attack. Homing attack is probably the scariest attack here. But we can dodge him. Have all the skeletons just mob him. Here comes another wave. And he's dead. Just gotta keep your distance, and he'll keep... If he's trying to do the melee attack and you keep your distance from him, he'll have to get towards you before he'll do it. So it buys you enough time. But yeah, what aren't we gonna use here? This isn't as good as what I'm wearing, so we'll drop that and pick this up. That's honestly not bad. We'll hold on to it. Replace some things. But there we go. This is Wanderer, summon Skadi on D100. Without using Winter to freeze stuff. If it's another damage modifier, which would be very nice. You can see Necromancy goes absolutely crazy. The birds don't do as much, unfortunately. We didn't even get Necromancy to level 10. Unfortunately, we did get offered stuff like Divine Shield, like, extremely early. Usually, you would prefer to just, like, get Necromancy as soon as possible and then grab Summoner and just have Necromancy get power level by Wanderer. but we were forced to kind of take Vortex and Divine Shield early, so this is like worst case scenario in terms of ordering of picking stuff up. We did get a little bit of Mayhem scaling. We did unfortunately get in a piece, which didn't do as much for us experience-wise because we were below 100% health. But it did help us heal back up, but the life on kill would have done that anyway. So you can take it and leave it if like at your own discretion. Inner piece did not do as much as you might expect here, especially when you consider the modifier. But obviously, in your run, if Inner piece shows up and Gem High shows up, just take them. There's no point really. I just prefer to try and showcase builds without using legendaries as like a linchpin. But yeah, Wanderer Skadi. It's very nice. It destroys in Act 1. It's even stronger in Act 2 because of all the different summon shrines, the stuff you can get to scale it faster. It's just some of the enemies are more lethal in Act 2. But the bosses are easier to deal with. Like, Jin is nowhere near as of a problem as, like, Dracula is. But even there, you just kind of, like, walk away from Dracula, and he dies eventually anyway to Necromancy. But once again, thank you very much for watching. I'll hover over the gear real quick, and we'll flash up the talents once again in case you want to copy it. Remember, if you don't have many banished dice, and you don't have dice as an option in general, just don't run Wanderer. Run the second wolf instead. It will perform basically the same, just consistency is a little bit lower. Summon attack speed, summon movement speed, summon duration and attack speed here. Honestly, you don't need to get summon duration on gear. It just happens that like I have these, so I was like, meh, why not? I mainly took this because it has damage and attack speed on it, but the duration is nice to have. Summon damage and summon count. Summon count doesn't do much. It does for Ravens, but not too much for Necromancy. Summon attack speed, summon damage and rerolls. This chest with just dice, basically. Summon damage on here, or if you have one, a 49% summon attack speed relic is also very, very good. Summon damage, summon duration, mainly for the life on kill on this, plus the rerolls. Summon attack speed, summon duration, summon attack speed, sorry, and summon damage, plus the alteration. And yeah, that's the gear. It's not too hard. Have a good time.